So this recording covers the elements of power. So we have elements of personal power, we have elements of position power. So the two elements for personal power are expert and referent. And then we have five elements of position power, which are legitimate, coercive, reward, information, and ecological. So they are defined in the next few slides in the tables. So the blue table is the personal power. Then we have orange table for position power. So it gives you the type on the left side, and then it gives you the, I don't need arrow, I need a pen right there, right? So we have the type and then the definition. And then if you want to, there are examples for the leader and examples for the employee, but this recording is not going to cover the examples. So personal power is really the behavior that will determine the amount of expert and referent power that the leader has. And they get that from their followers or subordinates. And subordinates might be by authority, they have subordinates, and they might choose to follow this manager because he or she has personal power. So, two types of personal powers or two elements of personal power are referent and expert. So, referent is really the liking we have for the leader. So, it centers around the desire to please the leader or to please a particular follower, right? So, you can be in a non managerial or non formal leadership position and enjoy personal power because just people want to hang out with you. So, you can be a follower with personal power. So we tend to have strong positive feelings towards this person. We want to help them and do things for them because we just have that connection with them. The expert power comes from having knowledge, skills, and abilities, and maybe other characteristics that makes us experts, basically. So the leader possesses task-relevant knowledge, right? So knowledge, skills, and abilities that the organization needs to get the job done. They have technical skills. They know their role. They know the role of the people on the team, and maybe also people skills. So they know how to actually work with people, how to positively influence people, how to manage people, how to support people, how to listen to people. And as long as we have this expertise, then we will have this power. So that's basically what this one is saying right here. So as long as we have that expertise, we have some sort of power around that. Then we have position power that comes from the organizational structure in the chart, and it's cascaded from the top and downwards, as we often can see in government or military organizations. So we have legitimate power, we have reward and punishment power. We also have information and ecological power. So legitimate power comes from having a role within the organization, right, by the organizational chart that gives us authority to decide over work activities. It's kind of complicated within organizations because there's so many moving pieces. You have so many decision-making points. You have subordinates and teams, and you might even have people from other functions or other teams and departments that you have authority over, but not necessarily from the organizational chart. So the influence processes for legitimate power tends to be a little cumbersome, but in a general sense, it is the fact that the organization has given you some authority to have power. Then we have reward and punishment. Punishment is not on this slide, but those are basically two sides of a coin. So by the role you have within the organization, you have power over resources or rewards or anything that the follower, follower or subordinate would want, meaning that you can actually give the person, the team, things that they value within the organization. So that is the reward power. See, here's coercive power. I keep calling it punishment power because it used to be called that, but the technical term is really coercive. So coercive, punishment, same thing. Coercive power is then based on your authority, the leader's authority, over quote unquote punishments. So giving somebody the less desirable shift, less desirable project or task, or putting them in a position or a role where they might not have upward movement. So basically, giving them something that is seen as a punishment or seen as not a reward. And obviously, given the leadership responsibility within the organization, you have more or less of this one. And again, this one is not a positive thing. Don't use it unless you really have to get people what you want, because you don't really get a lot of positive outcomes using punishments. Information and ecological. So information power basically deals with being able to control information or having information that people need. So we can control information up and down, which is the vertical flow of information, and we can also control it maybe laterally, so to peers and those in similar standing or position as you. So having information and controlling the flow of information obviously gives you a lot of power, because organizations cannot do much without organization or without information. Information is crucial for us to be able to do our jobs efficiently and effectively. And so having power over that, it's a pretty big deal. Lastly, ecological, meaning we have control over the structure. We have power over the structure or the physical environment of the organization, the technology, things that organizes the way people do their work. So either literally the physical environment, we're going to rearrange the desks and the chairs today, or things such as technology or other things such as scheduling, meaning that we have indirect power over how people do their work. So just like little things, tinkerings here and there might have big impact on how people work, how they perceive their work, and how they do that. So ecological power, we might not think of as a power. Most of the time, it's not as obvious as reward power or expert power, but it might have quite substantial effects. So those are the elements of position power and personal power. And it's going to wrap for this slide. This is a wrap for these slides. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.